Greetings, traveller! There are many exciting and different places to explore in the universe, and we here at the Observist are honoured to act as your guides. However, this is no ordinary guide. This is a guide for the traveller who is looking to visit locales that are a little more off the beaten path, a little wilder, and more unpredictable. This is Observist Dark, your trusted chronicler of the systems, planets and stations where safety is not guaranteed. Today we travel deep into the heart of the Stanton system, where near a moon of Crusader drifts a station formerly known as Green Imperial. A housing exchange, or HEX, built by Everline Structures Incorporated soon after the system's discovery, it was intended to house the influx of miners coming to work the asteroid belt surrounding Yela. Like other HEXs, it was economically built into a hollowed asteroid using the signature honeycombed, prefabricated housing pods, providing a clean and affordable, if not exactly comfortable, living option to the scores of workers arriving every day. Unfortunately, when the mining opportunities in the belt began to dry up a few decades later, the station began to take a turn for the worse. As the jobs in the area went away, the station began declining, and so did the clientele, slowly transforming Green Imperial from a temporary housing unit into a market for contraband, drugs, and petty crime. There was no real economic incentive to maintain it, and it was too much of an insurance nightmare to try and clean out the unsavoury element that had taken root. So, stating that it had become a liability, the housing exchange officially closed the station in 2938, and the few remaining legitimate residents and stores hastily cleared out. Abandoned, the station quickly fell into decay. That, however, is not where the story ends. Squatters, transients, and people with nowhere else to go began to take up residence in the abandoned station. A new economy began to emerge as folks brought scavenged and black market items to sell, so it wasn't long until word spread that there was a place in Stanton, away from the watchful eyes of the authorities, where people could go to enjoy themselves or do some more illicit shopping. This influx of visitors has given the station a new life in recent years, and along with it has come a new name. During its years of disuse, many of the signs around Green Imperial became damaged, including a prominent central screen that overlooks the main atrium. The display glitched in such a way that it displayed only some of the letters in the station's name, GRIMHEX. Someone must have noticed that the accidental title fit well with the station's current appearance, and the name stuck. Today, pretty much everyone in the know refers to the outpost as GrimHEX, and even all the rest of the signs have been hacked, scratched, and spray painted to match. And if you're looking to meet some colourful people with varied and interesting life experiences, go shopping for products that are hard to find anywhere else in Stanton, and watch a dangerous bare-knuckle race, then you're definitely going to want to learn the coordinates for this out-of-the-way stop. Probably one of the most difficult things about any trip to GrimHEX for most law-abiding people is finding it. Nestled into a nondescript section of Yela's asteroid ring, the station can be hard to spot until your ship draws close. Don't worry about finding authorised parking, as it is pretty much a free-for-all. Just grab any spot you can find. The system's antiquated auto-storage system should take care of the rest. Once you touch down, it's a good idea to activate your ship's security protocols. While the local gang who currently controls the area, the Ninetails, enforces some semblance of a truce among those who frequent GrimHEX, if you dangle yourself out as easy pickings, anything that happens to you is considered fair game. Same goes for personal security. It would not be out of place to carry a firearm while visiting. But all that said, if you keep your wits about you and don't wander into some of the station's cordoned off and disused cargo areas alone, you can reasonably expect to have a safe and successful visit. After all, too many of their customers dying is bad for business. From the landing area, you will go through the airlocks to a large lounge area. And while you may see a few strung-out patrons hanging out up here, I would recommend heading straight for the elevators so you can go directly to the lower levels where most of the real action is happening. Once you travel down to the main atrium level, you'll find rooms for rent, various substances to purchase and imbibe, and a rotating selection of sellers looking to unload their goods. Since it's hard to say who might be selling what by the time you visit, I am going to stick to highlighting a few of the more long-lasting sellers of interest. If you're on the hunt for a new look, or maybe a severe discount on whatever cargo an unfortunate hauler was moving through the area, make your way to the small hallway off the right of the elevators. There, past the dumpsters, you'll find a clothing stall called KC Trending, a name that stuck with the store from back when the station was still legit. A mismatched collection of offensive band shirts, leather coats, and stolen Kasaba cast-offs, there are some good finds waiting to be discovered if you're willing to dig around. Be sure to check clothes for tears and bloodstains before making any purchases, and be careful not to trip over Reedy, who can often be found sleeping in a small nook in the back. The KC Trending Employee of the Month photo on the wall indicates that he's been working there a while, but during my brief visit, it wasn't quite clear if he was running the place or just living there. From there, if you head back into the atrium and up near the large display, you'll find a back area that is home to armour and weapons dealers. A shifty guy named Scudder was eager to show me the assortment of weapons he had on hand for sale. Beyond the impressive and deadly array on display, there were a few locked crates around that he promised held some real serious shit. If shopping isn't your thing, there's plenty of entertainment to be found if you know where to look. The original Hex bar is still up and running, serving honest drinks to a less so clientele. Named the Old 38 after the first owner's prized 2838 Origin racer, the place is run by Trevor Gus Wheatley, who's been here since nearly the beginning. He's weathered the highs and lows of Green Imperial and seems dead set on sticking out this low and keeping the place going. As he often reminds his patrons, I don't care who's buying the drinks, as long as they're buying. And while Gus may not be willing to chat with you, there are plenty of others willing to share if you're buying. For the price of a few bottles of beer, I learned how to tell the good widow from the bad, how to load a P4 AR with one hand, and where in GrimHEX I should go if I wanted a decent grilled cheese. I also bought a drink for an elderly man who apparently runs the local used computer parts kiosk. He didn't say much and spilled his beer from the shake in his hand, but a lot of the other patrons were buying him drinks, so I figured I would follow my own frequent advice and do what the locals do. I'll admit that it warmed my heart a bit that even out here in the darker parts of space, you can still find kindness. My last stop, and probably the biggest draw on GrimHEX, was to the racing pit. Here, self-proclaimed number whiz Luca Brunt runs the books and organises the races through the clutches that drift close to the station. These large stability rings are left over from the Yellow mining operation that used them to anchor drifting asteroids while they were being drilled out. Today, they've become a makeshift course that offers some real thrills to watch, and for those brave enough, to fly. If you do intend to make a wager while visiting, be aware that the Ninetails take paying off debts very seriously. Let's just say that even losing a bet at GrimHEX was a pretty thrilling experience, something that's really worth travelling to observe for yourself.
I am French and sophisticated. I am also French and also sophisticated. Let us go on a date. Neither of these people are French or sophisticated. It was me doing a funny voice, as well as showing the horrors of dating online and what happens if you accidentally catfish yourself with two of your own accounts. But French people don't talk like that even. No one does. NordVPN can make you appear to be in France, but it doesn't make you French, as I've now found out. It can be used to improve security or give you more accessibility to the internet. I can watch all my favourite shows. Get yourself NordVPN today in the links below and maybe be a better version of yourself. Now that's shilling for you. Every month we have a Star Citizen ship giveaway, and March is no different. We have a Crusader Industries Mercury Star Runner. This multi-crew, multi-role, cargo and data running ship is my favourite ship in the game. It has loads of smuggling holes, it's got a good amount of armament, it can do a little bit of everything in the game at the moment. To be in for a chance of winning it, just comment on any of my videos made during March. More details in the description below. Please consider liking, subscribing, and potentially even clicking that join button under my videos to help further support the channel. Share the videos around with your friends and family. You'll occasionally get exclusive videos, posts, and polls that help influence the channel, along with emotes and badges to show your support. It really does help. There's also a Patreon and direct donations tool for those inclined. Thanks for watching, and I hope that you have a great March 2022.